Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newly rebranded UnMute Now. This is a podcast where we raise the volume on whispered conversations in our community. Here with me today, I have co-hosts who are part of the UKPivot or group. Would you introduce yourselves, ladies? Starting with Natasha.
Hi, I'm Natasha Lacham. Welcome to UnMute Now. We hope you were with us in season 1, but if you weren't, welcome to season 2. We have lots of great things in store, so make sure you stay tuned to our channel.
And Angela.
Hi, I'm Angela Falaji. Good to have you joining us, and we're looking forward to continuing this journey with you. So UnMute now.
And Yolande.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're keeping well. I'm Yolande, and I'm happy to have you back here with us in season 2. And we hope that it's going to be as good, even better than season 1.
So, if you have been with us for all of season 1, we are so pleased that you have decided to stay with us and to be here for season 2. And if this is your first time, we want to say a special welcome. And we're glad you're here. I want to start off today by just asking us all about, while we were away, what have you got up to? Both individually, and let's talk a little bit about what we got up to together. So I'm going to pose that first of all to Angela. What have you got up to individually?
Well, been quite busy since we kind of finished off for season 1. We've obviously had lockdown, in and out of lockdown, been working from home, been schooling from home, been also just doing some other projects, some personal projects, musical on the side, and generally just keeping myself very busy.
I'm sure you are. And what about you, Natasha?
Well, we finished season 1 at the end of October 2020. And what a year that was, right?
Yeah.
And I've just been busy, focused on working on some books that I've been trying to write for a long time. Doing that and also working on my YouTube channel and my own podcast and things like that. Yes, just working on my creative endeavors that were on the back burner for the longest time. I've decided to bring those to the front end and get those going.
Those of you who watched season 1, you will remember Natasha spoke more than once about these projects that she had on the back burner that she was intending to do and never got around to it. But I'm so pleased to hear that she's finally done it.
Absolutely.
And we have listened to some of the podcasts and they are brilliant. So Natasha, do you want to tell people where to find it?
Oh, thank you very much, Raquel. They can find it on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the name of the podcast is What I'm Learning Is. Thank you for the plug.
No problem. Yolande, what have you been up to?
I think as of October 2020, I've had a blank canvas somewhere in my mind. Maybe loads have happened, but they've been erased. I don't know.
School.
So
School.
For me, all I can remember is Christmas happening, come and go. And then we're into January. And again, I'm not really amused with another lockdown. So blank canvas will remain a blank canvas by choice. So yeah, been up to nothing much. That's what it equates to.
That's what she says. But
that is so not true.
This lady is one of the busiest people that we know.
Really?
Yes. She always has something on. Her canvas is never blank.
I meant my mind, though. I meant my mind.
Oh,
I meant
okay.
I've probably been doing things, but as I do them, I've thrown them away. And so I don't know what I've done, to be quite honest, because my head is too full. So I've thrown them away.
Okay, fair enough. I have to say, I have been a busy girl since the last time that we were together. Obviously, our last time was a bit of a two-tier thing. You know, we finished airing season 1. What was that? At the end of October, start of November 2020. But then we came back for the season special. But in between that, I have had opportunity to be involved in a couple of festivals. I've been on a radio drama. I have been involved in a project called Injustice, which is part of an intercultural project that has been commissioned by Terra Nova. And there are a couple of other things in the offing. For instance, Four Corners Festival that I'm supposed to be involved in very soon. So yeah, a few bits and pieces. Yeah, a few bits and pieces. All right. So what about collectively? What have we been up to in the gap? Have we just been sitting on the beach having fun? Yes, I know.
On the virtual beach.
On the virtual beach. Natasha, what have we been up to?
Collectively, there's been quite a few things happening more or less around Northern Irish society regarding different issues that I think most of us who are members of the African and Caribbean community have been working with the leading organization, responsible for that in terms of dealing with some societal issues and things that have been happening. So we've been busy with that. And also just in terms of, not want to speak for all you ladies, because I'm sure you can speak to it as well, but even though we've been off air for a few months, the hat never comes off. And we've been planning this season too for, a lot of months and trying to see how we can make sure to, keep our product improving and bringing more people on board and just creating a more exciting season two for our viewers and our listeners. We can't forget our listeners now. And yes, so we've been just working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we can bring you season two. And of course, lockdown number, 500 has occurred. So we just have to pivot.
Number 500.
And
right.
yes, we just have to pivot and see how best we can still continue to bring you this product. Hence, you're not seeing our lovely set today. You're just seeing us in our beautiful homes. But we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we didn't expect that we'd be back in this virtual world again, did we? But hey, we pivot.
Yeah, we pivot.
Yes.
We turn the obstacles into opportunities.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. So I'm going to come back to Yolande and ask you to talk a little bit about what is it like behind the scenes planning for season 2. But before that, I want to ask Angela, is UnMute the only thing that we do?
Oh, no. We've really had the opportunity since we started this to get involved in various projects. Some of them are in the pipeline, really exciting opportunities coming up for us. So we're working with an organization, a women's organization, and doing some workshops for them around, intercultural, just kind of getting people together from different cultures and learning from each other, breaking down barriers and so on. We also have another organization that we're working with, again, designing some workshops around tackling racism, dealing with mindsets around that. We possibly got a mentoring project in the background somewhere. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Then we did obviously the poetry night that we did towards the end of season 1. But it's really not just this podcast. It kind of spins off into various things in the community, which is absolutely great, because we want to use this as a platform and as a launching pad to just get deeper into the community and help where we can and just add value where we can. So exciting stuff in the pipeline for us.
Yeah. So Yolande, tell us about what it's like preparing for season 2. What kinds of things do we get into?
Right. Sorry, Raquel. Thank you. I suppose just to add to context to what Angela has said, maybe for those of our viewers who aren't aware, we operate a podcast now called UnMute Now, but under a brand that is UKPivot. And so under that brand is where we are able to, engage in other projects. So in terms of planning for season 2 of the podcast itself, bearing in mind that we're trying to balance that with other projects, balance that with the many other hats that we wear, it could sometimes be a lot of administrative work in the background. A lot of it is surrounding, particularly trying to improve season 2, and that would have relied a lot on seeking funding. Now, funding applications is a job in itself. I can tell you that out there.
Say that
again. We self-funded season 1, and therefore season 2, we would have endeavored to secure funding, which we have. And
you're gonna thank you to our funders.
We're gonna be bigging up, as we say back home in the Caribbean, we're gonna be bigging up our funder of the podcast towards the end. Maybe it's great if I say thanks right now to Community Foundation Northern Ireland, CFNI, and we're gonna be, giving them some props at the end. But really outside of that, it's the practical side of getting along. And to me, that really is a lot of what happens in the background, agreeing on things, agreeing on, procedures, strategies, or just general day-to-day management stuff. So yeah, we're here, guys.
And lots of meetings.
Lots of
Robust discussions.
Of course, there is all the technical side, which has had to be planned, especially when we have had to be thinking about option one and option two. Option one, the ideal, where we would have been able to be together physically in a space together to bring you UnMute now. But option two being, unfortunately, what we're doing today, which is recording this first episode on Zoom. So, there has been some amount of planning in the background about the technical side of how we do that. So all of that has been part of what we've been doing in the meantime. So we, of course, have been thinking about you, our listeners and viewers, and that's what has brought us to now. You might be wondering about the rebrand. What has caused us to think about rebranding, and what has caused us to choose the name UnMute now? I'm going to start off with Angela. Why UnMute?
I was so hoping you didn't start off asking me that.
I was hoping so too. I had hands on my heart.
Go for it, Angela.
Right.
Is it about the urgency? Is it about inclusivity? And what's it about?
Well, we wanted it to be clear that this podcast is open to all, is for all. And so we didn't want anything that kind of made it seem like it was exclusive in any way, whether geographical location or community or anything like that. And the now, or the na, as we say here in Northern Ireland, is a sense of urgency. And there is a sense of urgency about ensuring that communities, but particularly those who might be marginalized, have a platform, have a voice, have the opportunity to make their views known, to contribute to what's happening in society. And so there is an urgency about it, hence the now. We need to do it now. The discussions need to happen now. Action needs to take place now. So yeah, there's that sense of urgency that we believe that the new brand brings to what we are doing.
Yeah.
So I'll jump right in because I like to add context and be brave about it. So I suppose for me, when you live in the United Kingdom, if you put it into context, there's 4 broad jurisdictions: mainland England, then you've got Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. And so when we reside within the jurisdiction of Northern Ireland, where there is its own, its own political divide, and we reside in Northern Ireland, we have a podcast that says UK UnMute. That within itself can be exclusive to some people within Northern Ireland for political, religious, or other reasons. And so with that, we decided that we are, as Angela said, a podcast that wants to be all inclusive. And so for me, in terms of the name UnMute, Natasha does it best. I can't say the Northern Ireland version of it. Natasha and Raquel has it down pat. So they have to say it. So for me, it is twofold. It is identifying with our Northern Irish community in that way, that word. It's a word that we've always played on for us living here in Northern Ireland. And it's another one that I like best is down. I don't know how they say down.
Dawn.
Yes, so those 2 words are the words that would resonate in your ear when you're brand new, like a freshie, and you're learning the Northern Ireland twang. So it is identifying with the community as well as all that Angela said about urgency. So we hope you get it. We hope that the name is something that you can buy into if you're out there, and we can become a household name. So there you go.
Yes.
I actually have a few voice clips of people saying UnMute now. So do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go for it.
We'll play it right here.
UnMute now.
UnMute now.
UnMute now.
Now, Natasha, I want to ask you about where we can be found.
Where we
Can be found.
Oh, Sure. Well, we can be found across social media at UnMute Now on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and did I forget any? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yes. And you can also send us an email to unmutenow@gmail.com.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, so, our tagline says obstacles into opportunities. But what kinds of things are we thinking about in season 2? I want to start with you, Yolande. What kinds of things should our viewers and listeners be expecting to hear us talk about in season 2?
Well, I mean, first I thought you were going to ask me what kind of obstacles they should be expecting us to turn into opportunities. But I suppose we've already encountered obstacle 1 right now, which is the lockdown, quote unquote, having to revert to a virtual kind of platform. And out of that, in season 2, initially we would have planned to be having things like on location. We don't know if that would happen anymore. If it doesn't, we would have to find a remedy. Season 2 would have had a lot of guest intention behind it. We really don't know again if that would happen. I'm supposing we could still have our guests joining us by Zoom. So I don't want to paint a pessimistic picture, guys. Season 2 is going to be brilliant. We are going to have guests, no matter what it takes, no matter how we get them, because we've had some great support from the community in terms of our guests in season 1, and we're going to have more of the same in season 2. We're going to overcome technological, obstacles, challenges. And we have, again, in the community, some very supportive people who work within the technical field that give us ideas and help us out. So I really think we would like as well in season 2 to get a lot of feedback from the audience in terms of what would you like to see us do, what we could have done differently, just that helps us to really refine our product.
Yes. And what sort of things would you like us to maybe discuss? What takeaways have you gotten from discussions that we have had? Would you like to see a part 2 of anything that we've done, or to follow on a conversation that we've had previously that you thought maybe, it can be extended to a different, down a different street or something like that? You can just let us know. Just drop us comments on our Facebook page, which is the one that we probably see, most frequently, or on our Instagram page as well. Or you can just tweet us, and we'll be happy to take your suggestions on board.
Now, Angela, having said that, having invited our viewers and listeners to send us their thoughts and what they would like to see and hear us talk about, etc., that is not to say we don't already have a plan.
Oh, we have plans.
We always plan.
We haven't had all those meetings for nothing. We have a plan as big as, and our plan, as Yolande said, involves guests. And, even in season 1, we had obstacles in that respect, but we turned it into opportunities where we had a guest from South Africa. I mean, it worked. Mm-hmm. And so even if lockdown is further extended, we will still have our guests. That's not going to stop us, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a plan that involves guests, that involves workshops that will culminate in a podcast that will happen. Now, whether that happens physically or virtually, we don't know, but we've got plan A and plan B. Plan C will materialize. It will happen. And I think that's what it's all about. We've got to maintain that positive. Life hasn't come to an end because of the pandemic or the lockdown. We just have to open our eyes to see the opportunities that are presented by, the more aware that we are now of technological, platforms that we can use to make things happen. So yeah, we got plans.
I have to say that, and I'm going to keep them to their word. We have got one of our funder organization representatives from that are going to be coming on one of our podcasts just to talk around, probably the impact that funding would have had on a podcast like this, and perhaps how they can help with our community development. So that will be interesting as a different kind of guest in its sense. That will be interesting to see and to have that discussion. So yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we've got things planned around, how you kind of move on in terms of career. We've got things planned around relationships. We've got things planned around topical issues that will arise at various points, health as well. So yeah, stay tuned.
and of course around Women's Day coming up,
Absolutely.
etc.
Yes,
So
Mhm.
women's empowerment always.
always
Yes.
lots to be looking forward to. But just before we kind of wrap up this short introductory segment for season one,
Season
episode
two.
one,
Season two.
episode one. Get that right, Raquel. Just as we wrap up episode one of season two on Mute Now, just want to ask us what's coming next episode. What's next
Well,
episode?
our next episode is actually going to fall around Valentine's Day, and that will be hosted by the lovely Angela.
Yes, we
Dr. Love.
So we'll be talking about relationships
Yes.
on the
Yes.
next episode. So tune in and see what we've got to say. We'll be looking forward to connecting with you guys. So be in touch with us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And once again, thanks for joining us. Let's
Thank
all
you.
say
Bye.
bye.
Where we raise the volume and the whispered community conversations.
Yep.